The Honorable Dean of Faculty of Education, Ibu Profesor Dr. Nila Mala PhD, the Honorable, our main speaker, Bapak Dr. M. Arif Rahman, Hakim PhD, our esteemed distinguished lecturers, staff of Faculty of Education, last but not least, all of my colleagues in Faculty of Education. Welcome to Lunch Talk, session 33. Hello, I am Ellie, a proud part of PhD student Watch 2, and I'm glad to announce that I will be your moderator for today's Lunch Talk. Good afternoon. Hello. So many fresh faces. Welcome to new students of Faculty of Education, and welcome back to my colleagues who have just returned from a long semester break. I wish all of us a good luck and enjoyable learning experience in this new semester. But before we begin, I would like to invite you to please fill in the seat in front of us because it looks empty in some seat. It doesn't look very good in government session. And it looks like we don't have a good friendship, by the way. Like look at our lecturers here, except Papa Dr. Bambam. It looks like they have a good friendship. They sit so close to each other. My dear friends, sit with anyone. Okay, I will read you the list of agenda today. First, we pray Basmalah together. Second, we welcome and introduce our main speaker. Third, the main agenda, presentation by Bapak Dr. M. Arif Rahman, Hakim PhD. We have discussion session and lastly, closing and documentation session. As the first agenda on the list, let's start our special event by reciting Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our next agenda, let us welcome Bapak Dr. M. Arif Rahman, Hakim PhD to the stage with a round of applause. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. My apologies. Before we begin to the main agenda, we will pay attention and listen to the opening statement by Ibu Profesor Dr. Mian, PhD as Dean of Faculty of Education. Ibu Dr. the stage is yours. Please give a round of applause.
Thank you, Melly. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin sayyidil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. I'm very glad today to see you many students in this theater because last month in the last talk it's like very empty. It's like only 12 people come and today held to have like around 50 or 60 students or 60 attendants here. So welcome. I would like to especially welcome to our new students for the first lunch shop that you attend offline here. Yeah, and also of course to all the students who have had a break for quite some time, so like almost 3 months. I think we have had a break, but for PhD students there is no such a thing as agreed, yeah. After you have done your research review, of course, after that, your time is to write your proposal for the seminar. And I'm glad I see some of you, even though you bring your laptop, you are here as part of the livestock community. And thank you, Dr. Bambang, Dr. Tati, Prof. Suwarsi, we are here to attend the lecture from our scholar in resident, Dr. Muhammad Arif Rahman Hakim, about the urgency of educational access for Indonesian migrant workers in Malaysia, policy issues and proposed solutions. Yeah. I'm glad that you raised this issue about access to education because education is one of the basic rights of citizens, yeah. And you might also aware that not all children or people can access to education, like the problems that Dr. Arif Rahman Hakim will discuss today in his lunch talk. Yeah, I think this is like rising consciousness about the fulfillment and unfulfillment of the basic rights of education. And I think that makes us, I think from this, I hope that you will be grateful for what you have now, because you can have access to education not only up until 12 years education, which means senior high school, but you have reached higher degree, yeah, the MA and PhD, yeah. And this gratitude, of course, need to be shown by your discipline in learning, in doing your assignments, because, well, not everybody can enjoy the privilege of having a scholarship, yeah. And as a Muslims, we often heard about the importance of education, such as "Utubil ilma minal mahdi ilal lahdi," so that's the suggestion to seek knowledge from the mother's cradles until the end of our life. Yeah. But unfortunately, like the problem that Dr. Arif Rahman Hakim will raise, not all people, like I have said, also can have access to education. Yeah, yesterday one of my students saw me, yeah, to discuss about the possible research proposal for her thesis, and she raised the issue about the victims of child marriage who would like to continue their studies after they have broken their marriage. Unfortunately, not all schools are open to the children who became victim of child marriage, and this is also a problem, yeah, in rural areas in which that like the janda or the single person, even though after having only one month forced marriage, they are rejected to enter or to continue their education. Yeah. Uh, I think that's all from me. I'm looking forward to the proposed solution that you would like to share to us, because I wish that everybody can have access to education. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ibu Professor Nina Nirmala, for your opening speech. Before we listen to the presentation by Bapak Arif Ramanaki, PhD, I would like to introduce you to our next speaker. Bapak Dr. Muhammad Arif Rahman, PhD, is currently a scholar in residence in our faculty. He's also a lecturer in Fakulty Tadris, Tarbiyah and Tadris, UIN Fatmawati Soekarno Bengkulu. His research interests varies, including English teaching, models and strategy, English teacher competencies, teacher professional development, and teaching materials design and development. He has a long list of publications, especially in literature. One of his most recent publication entitled "The Raw Skill Communication Model: Investigating the Outcome on Malaysian Employees' Confidence in Terms of Fluency." Today, Bapak Dr. M. Arif Rahman, Hakim PhD, is going to share with us about the urgency of educational access for Indonesian migrant workers in Malaysia, policy issues and proposed solutions. Bapak Doctor, we are ready for your presentation. We have 15 minutes. You may sit or stand as you please. Please give a round of applause as Dr. Sven.
You may sit there, maybe. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, Masya Allah, maka nabi Allah. Bismillah, Masya Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. Honorable the Dean of Faculty of Education, Triple IU, Professor Nina. Thanks a lot for your welcoming speech, and also I just quite surprised because you're wearing the batik, traditional batik from Bengkulu. So stunning, yes. And also Honorable Head of Study Program, Dr. Bambang, Dr. Tati, all of the faculty members, Professor Suarsi. I always be big fan of her. Since I was students, always read her articles, book, and if I was mistaken, in the Asia Temple in Yogyakarta last time, I also participated as a presenter and also write some proceedings that edited by you and published in Routledge Publishers. Moderator, thank you so much for introduction about me. So my name is Arif. You can call me with Arif, Pak Arif, Bang Arif, Mas Arif, whatever you want. But some students have already called me Sir Arif. It's different, Sir, with Elton John and David Beckham. Actually, Sir is consists of scholars in residence. I don't know, they just make it and call me with that names. So I think that's so nice. So Arif. Um, Thank you so much for having me in this very great event, especially for the faculty members of Faculty of Education, the Dean, because I think this is uh, the most prestigious achievement for me. Can be part of Faculty of Education, Triple IU family that I never never imagined before because just a bit sharing my experience, my past experience. When I was in Madrasah Sanawiyah, junior high school, I didn't pass the national examination in English subject. And 16 years later, I got my PhD in like English language education. And today I'm here standing in front of you, talk about education. That's life, yeah. Um, of course, all of the participants in this lunch talk, our lovely students, thanks a lot for coming. Yeah, I really appreciate because I know after Zuhur prayer, Zuhur break, then lunch is a little bit dangerous. Yeah. And you choose to come here and participate in this event. So please give applause to all of you here. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Um, anyway, today I've got okay. So okay. Today I'm going to talk about this about the urgency of educational access for Indonesian migrant workers in Malaysia, policy issues and proposed solution. And don't be really serious. We'll not, talk in serious issues. It's gonna be really fun, I promise. But about the proposed solution, I will not give my solution only. I'll let you to join in our project here. It's not only offering but also challenging for you. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to see what we can be a part of this solution or this research subject at the end of the presenter. But before that, let me talk or start this discussion from the background because we need to know about the background, the condition of Indonesian migrant workers. And anyway, thank you so much, Mas Sofia, because I just changed the PowerPoint slide. Uh, an hour before this event because I just get some some additional data from Malaysia this morning. So that's why after I sent the PowerPoint slide, then I have to change. And thank you, Mas Sufyan, to let me change the PowerPoint slide. Well, about the reason why the Indonesia migrant workers or Indonesian workers be or might do some migration to all over the world because of limited job opportunities. We know that, yes, in Indonesia. And um, this is the data of Indonesia migrant workers based on countries or area. You can see in Malaysia, there are 55% from 9 million Indonesian workers there. Then in Middle East, about 11%, and East Asia, 19, Singapore, 5, and other countries such as Australia, and even in US also, there are 10% there. Then based on some, some data, some research findings, some interview, the migration also provides some opportunities to the Indonesian workers to gain skills, work experience, and 80% of migrant workers, for them, yes, migration is a gateway to the professional labor market because there are not many opportunities for females, especially for with lower education to get a job in Indonesia. That's why migrant workers is one of the solution for them to move to get a new job. Yes, as I know in Malaysia, uh, around 80% of um, workers in factory are females. So there are so many opportunities for them to do that. Then, and also for the countries, migration or Indonesian migrant workers in 2023 send remittances with worth more than, you can see the nominal there, 118 trillion rupiah, yes, or 8.9 billion US dollars, or yeah, equivalent to 1% of Indonesia's total GDP. So this is also very interesting. In the other hand, the Indonesian government or Indonesian embassy in some countries, including Malaysia, have some program to send back some migrant workers, especially illegal migrant workers. But the other one, our governments need them to, to give some remittances. Yes, and for themselves, for the Indonesian migrant workers themselves, they uh, they have or get some significant contribution to their lives. So, such as for their family, their economy in the village, especially. There are currently more than 9 million Indonesian citizens working abroad, yes. Then, equivalent to almost 7% of total Indonesian labor force. Uh, so, in East Asia, only China and Philippines have more international migrant workers than Indonesia. So they are the third position. And this is also the fact. Indonesian migrant workers mostly come from rural areas, not from the big city, such as they always say to me when I ask them where you come from Medan. Actually, it's not coming from Medan, but sometimes from Binjai, from other regency around Medan. Or they say from Surabaya. It's not exactly from Surabaya. From Madiun, sometimes coming from Nganjuk. I found them from Jember and other regencies or rural areas in the city. Uh, but yeah, some of them sometimes coming from the big city, but not many of them. So the total is 72% of Indonesian migrant workers come from rural areas. Yeah, this is the problem because of lack of job opportunities. Again, about that. So there's a higher tendency among rural residents to become migrant workers compared to those from urban areas. And the next fact is more than 86% of migrant workers currently come from Java Island, I mean from Banten until East Java, and Nusa Tenggara. This is based on the data in 2023. Normally, workers from Nusa Tenggara, they work in the farming area and also in construction. For Java people, yeah, all of the all of the uh, work. Sometimes in factories, sometimes they work for the we call it sometimes bank, work in bank, not in bank actually. Bank is bangunan sometimes. They when I still watch your job, sir. We work in bank, so what is bank? Oh, bank! Wow, that's impressive. Bangunan is it? That's just our jokes there with some friends. Uh, Next one. And next part about their educational background. We can start the problem from here. So Indonesia migrant workers in Malaysia are mostly poorly educated. So about 78% of migrant workers today are junior high school graduates or lower, even with half having completed only primary schools. And migrant workers from urban areas sometimes, yeah, generally more highly educated. Sometimes some of them are graduated from bachelor or senior high school. But if we compare to former migrant workers, so there has been about increasing, yeah, about the educational levels currently in Indonesian migrant workers. And this is the percentage of this is data from 2023 about the level of education for Indonesian migrant workers in Malaysia. Elementary school or lower, even lower, about 50, half of them. Junior high school, about 32%, and senior high school or higher, 19%. This have an interesting interest with if we can compare with the 5 years ago. Okay, this also we already talked about this, the lack of the job opportunities, the reason why the Indonesian workers to be migrant workers, and especially about higher salary. Yeah, it's also it's kind of a big issue because they say to me based on my interviews and some research findings, they said with you know elementary school graduates or scroll, it's impossible to get a salary more than 2 million rupiah in Indonesia. 2 million, 3 million, and we can get it in Malaysia. So, however, the way we have to go to Malaysia. Sometimes this is not legal way. All of them. Sometimes they they go with illegal way or illegal what they call it agent. Yeah. So I think we know about that already, especially if some of you coming from East Java or Central Java or North Sumatra, because sometimes we found so many cases related on workers that come from that province. And as many as 70% of former migrant workers is also, the reason why they want to be a migrant workers. They know sometimes about the cases, about the bad things to be migrant workers in Malaysia because sometimes we got some news, right, about ART or system got some uh, bad things in Malaysia, but they still want to be migrant workers in Malaysia because of former migrant workers, the alumni of migrant workers. They say to their friends, their colleagues that their economy improved after becoming migrant workers outside or abroad, outside Indonesia. This also, encourage them to be migrant workers and go to Malaysia, go to Middle East, go to Taiwan, yes, go to uh, now Japan. They need a lot of workers currently, Japan and South Korea because of the economic background. And this is the list of backgrounds that I can share to you. Workers with a minimum salary below 5,000 Malaysia ringgit are not allowed to bring their families. Okay, but so the problem, while the majority of Indonesian migrant workers in Malaysia have an average salary of 2,000 Malaysia ringgit. So in the policy, based on the policy, they cannot bring their families to Malaysia. Yes, but we don't know. Who's know? They got married and have a children after they become workers in Malaysia. We don't know. Sometimes the life they found their jodoh or they couple there. Not only between Indonesian workers, but sometimes they got married with workers from other countries such as Bangladesh. There are a lot of Bangladesh workers or men workers in Malaysia, or sometimes with Chinese people or Malaysia citizens. So they got married and sometimes they have children after they become workers in Malaysia, and the status of their children are undocumented or illegal because they don't have a passport, they don't have a because based on the policy, they don't have bring their family. So you know the impact of that. They cannot send their children to the school, yeah, especially for the uh, public school because they don't have a visa. Then yeah, of course visa. They don't have a passport, so undocumented. That's the problem, and this is a big problem. Some of my friends or my colleagues there in Malaysia, uh, they can send their children to a private school, but the it's so high. The fees, yeah, the education fee is so high. So it's sometimes it's the problem with them. And when I know in some communities, they make some groups, and sometimes if they have a friend or ustad around their community, they send their children to learn read Quran and sometimes basic fiqh, but this is like a non-education, non-formal education program. So this is the problem with Indonesian migrant workers, majority of Indonesian migrant workers there in Malaysia. And uh, the last problem, the majority of high school graduates, because some of them I said uh, graduated from senior high school, so they still have a strong desire to continue their education to the college. Yeah, this is also the problem, especially in some areas in Malaysia. There are um, some workplace that let the high school graduates to work there. So a lot of them still have some strong. They really want to continue their study, but what next? This is the program that have been implemented there. For formal school in Malaysia, we have three schools. I think after this, maybe Professor Swarsi will can give more additional thought because she really familiar with this. Uh, there are three schools, or we call it SI Sekolah Indonesia Kuala Lumpur, SIKL, SI Johor, and SI KK Kota Kinabalu in Sabah area. This is a formal school. They have from elementary until the middle school, until the senior high school there. But only three institutions or three schools in all of Malaysia. Then this is organized by Ministry of Education of Indonesia and Indonesian Embassy. And the second one for graduate, undergraduate degree program, currently maybe 5 years, yeah, already 5 years. There are Universitas Terbuka Pokja Luar Negeri there. So the some of Indonesian migrant workers that already graduated from senior high school, they can continue their study in UT Pokja Luar Negeri. This is also organized by Indonesian Embassy and Indonesian Consulate General of Indonesia in Malaysia. So currently they have 1,300 students in there. And this is also maybe there are some of Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar of or Indonesian Learning Center in Malaysia, but in last after the COVID, in last 2 or 3 years, they add more Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar based on educational attaché of Indonesian Embassy in Malaysia. So the equivalency of Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar is package A and B. So it can be kept in equivalence with elementary school and junior high school. And it's organized by Indonesian Community Organization or Paguyuban or some organizations in Malaysia. Uh, Around now they have around 17 institutions in Malaysia, but still under Indonesian embassy. And the last one, short competency course. Yeah, it's also organized by Indonesian community organizations. Sometimes they make some collaboration with educational institutions in Malaysia, but this is for short program around maybe 1 day, 2 days until 1 week to do this course. And let's show you this. This is the formal school, elementary and middle school. Sekolah Indonesia Johor Baru, Kuala Lumpur, and also Kota Kinabalu. This is a formal school. They have a uniform like formal school in Indonesia, and they also have a curriculum based on Indonesian Ministry of Education, Ministry of Education. So this is a formal school. But only three schools around Malaysia, in all of Malaysia. So this is very limited person to access formal education. So maybe only some Indonesian migrant workers around that city can access this school. And they also have some, limited place limited seats. So not all of children of Indonesian migrant workers can be accepted in this in these schools. So they have some limitation or some policy to do that. Well, this is the next one for undergraduate degree program. Universitas Terbuka UT Pokja Luar Negeri. At the beginning of this program, they did this. It's organized by UT Batam because it's quite near from Malaysia. But now they have Pokja Luar Negeri or UT Pokja Luar Negeri, UTL and UTLN to handle this program. Now currently they have around 1,300 students there, and some of them are already graduated from this university and get a bachelor degree. And also some of them, after they got a bachelor degree, they decided to come back to Indonesia and continue their life, their job in Indonesia, which is good. It's good. And but some of them still continue their career in Malaysia and get better position in their company. Then this is one of good things I think, yeah, for this program. But again, not all of the Indonesian migrant workers have some awareness to continue their study. They always think as long as I can get some salaries, big salaries, I don't need to continue my study. So one of the program of Indonesian Embassy and also supported by Indonesian community organization or Paguyuban in Malaysia, they always also help the UT Pokja Luar Negeri to give some socialization to this or the importance of continue their education. And Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar, yeah, it's only package A and B or for elementary school and junior high school. There's currently, because I just make a phone with one of the organizer three hours ago to make sure there are no additional learning community centers. It's still 17, yes. So 17, then I will present it. 17 learning center organized by Indonesian community organizations is one of them, organized by Permai Pineng, because I was there as one of the members of this organization. So this is a legal organization under the Ministry of Law of Malaysia, if I'm not wrong. But not all of our Indonesia organization in Malaysia are legal community or legal organization. Just few, 3 or 4 of them. So this is also their homework to improve the quality of their organization. But anyway, 17 learning center organization until today, and the total of students, if I'm not wrong, is around 200 something. Yes, more than 200 until now. This short competency course so is organized by Indonesian community organization and make some collaboration with educational institution in Malaysia. In my university last time while I was in PhD, they always do some collaboration between University Science Malaysia and Indonesian organization or community to make some workshop such as workshop of reading Quran, workshop of English academy for Indonesian migrant workers. If I'm not wrong, some of bank in Indonesia, Bank Mandiri, BRI, they also make some community service in Malaysia and also did some workshop about finance, about so on, many more short competency course. And this is only for short term education around 2 days sometimes or 2 weeks. Yeah. And the role of Indonesian academics currently with this issue from 2017 until 2024. Sending students as a volunteer teachers through internship or community service program. So also supported by by Merdeka curriculum programs such as ISMA. Yes, they send by ISMA program. So it's like a student exchange for 1 semester. And for the community service, they also help as a volunteers to the educational institution. They help to teach the children there and make some course in for Indonesian migrant workers in Malaysia. And also for the lecturers, last month, if I'm not wrong, some lecturers from Mercu Buana University also sent their lecturers and students to make some workshop around 3 months. It's quite long, 3 months. It's like a continued workshop to help the Indonesian migrant workers in in or about the literacy about the finance, if I'm not wrong. So this is kind of the program that the academics our as the scholars can help them. Number two, involved in the development of teaching modules, especially in the study setup of Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar or competency course program, because at the beginning of Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar or study center there, they don't have any teaching module, so some of the scholars try to help them to develop or designing the teaching module to the Indonesian migrant workers, especially the children or Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar Malaysia. Then providing workshop or training for the teachers or volunteers in Sanggar Bimbingan Indonesia, Malaysia. Sometimes it's not have to face-to-face or in-person workshop. They sometimes do some online workshop to help the teachers or the volunteers that you aware with educational process or to give some some knowledge about the teaching method, because not all of the teachers there or all of the volunteers there are coming or have a background from educational faculty, because they have some volunteers from postgraduate students or undergraduate students from the university around the learning center. They're coming from Faculty of Art, Faculty of Humanities, School of Islamic Studies in IIUM, University Islam Antarabangsa in Gombak, Malaysia. Mostly the volunteers are coming from Islamic Studies study program students. So sometimes they don't really familiar with the teaching methods. So we can try help them to be more familiar with teaching method, how to do some assessment to the students, and so on. Then do some, they also did some literacy understanding or uh, some seminars sometimes, yes, a workshop to about the importance of education that I mentioned to you previously, because not all of the Indonesian migrant workers aware with education. Even the government and also the organization, Indonesian organization or community, now they are running some educational institution, but not all of parents, Indonesian parents, still want to send their children to the school. or to the Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar, because yeah, they still have opinion about education is not really important as long as my son can get more money and good salary in the future. It's going to be fine to me. You don't need education. Sometimes they still have that opinion. So this is our job as a scholarship to to give some literacy about education, how important is education. And this is suggestions and recommendation. And this is I also offering you or challenge you to be a part of this subject or this issue in the future. Uh, just confirmed three hours ago with some colleagues in Malaysia. They still don't have uh, oh yeah, that's gonna be number two. Gonna start from number one. Sorry. Number one, they should increase the types of community-centered institution because until today, just have package A and B that's equivalent to elementary school and junior high school. They still don't have a senior high school. That's why this is our suggestion to the government or the Indonesian embassy to increase the level of that because after they finish their junior high school later, so how's the continuity? So they have to continue their study to senior high school. So this is my first suggestion, and this is the work of government. This is not our job. Don't worry. Maybe with some academic you know, academic literacy or some articles, research articles, we can push the government to do these things in the future. And this is number two of my suggestion: designing an evaluation or accreditation standard for all Indonesian learning community institution or Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar in Malaysia. Today, they don't have any standardization of evaluation or accreditation, uh, standardization of Sanggar Bimbingan or community center. So I think maybe if you have some interesting with uh, evaluation concentration, you can design this kind of things. Even they don't have this standardization, so they just when I asked them, so how's the role of government or Indonesian embassy related to the standardization or accreditation? Do you have any accreditation? Maybe every year, every 3 months? Not yet. Not yet. So, how's the process? Yeah, this is based on our need and also based on our want. So, this is going to be our challenge. Maybe we can help them uh, to start design or to design this standardization of evaluation. Also, as well as the curriculum. They don't have any permanent curriculum. Uh, so when I asked them how about the syllabus, yeah, Sekolah Indonesia Kuala Lumpur SIT just sent us the syllabus, but it's totally different. Sometimes our students in package A or elementary school, they are 12 years old and just start school, 11 or 12. But based on the curriculum from formal schools, the age of students is around 6 and 7 for first class or first year of students. So it's totally different. So different in between different situations. So we need a special curriculum or special standardization to Sanggar Bimbingan, and they don't have it now. So I think we can fill in or do something. I don't know. This can be a research or community service. Do that from Triple IU. We can claim it. This is designed by education of Triple IU. Next. And the last one, actually there are a lot of short course in for Indonesian migrant workers in Malaysia. There are already a lot of short course. But for the next, I think uh, my suggestion, they can do some workshop that in collaboration with BNSP Professional Certification Institution. So the certification is it's legal, so they can use the certification when they go back to Indonesia. I think it's also recognized by some, correct me if I'm wrong, but no, the NSP is also recognized by Asian countries and also Australia. So I think if we can, or some of people there can do some workshop that collaboration with the NSP accreditation institution, certification institution. It can be really help the Indonesian migrant workers to get new certification of competency, and at the next career, I think it's going to be really important for them. Um, yeah, this is just like some quotes that education for all. Education is not only for special community, but for all. Yes, then education is one thing no one can take away from you. That's all from me. Thank you so much. Maybe after this, some discussion will be very important, or maybe Prof. Sulawesi, Dr. Bambang, and I think he also very familiar with this topic. He's my senior in Malaysia, and Dr. Tati, and also Prof. Dina can give some, additional comments, maybe some new insight. I think that's going to be really important for our discussion today. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Bapak Dr. Ari, PhD, for your insight about the state of Indonesian migrant workers in Malaysia. I would like to summarize before we move to the next agenda, which is discussion session. So there are so many Indonesian citizens who migrate to Malaysia due to several reasons. One of them is lack of job opportunity. And not only that, there's also a salary opportunity for them in that, especially considering they have poor educational level, low educational level. And for Indonesia itself, they receive benefit. For example, labor market for female, increasing economic growth, and also they give 1%, almost up to 1% of Indonesia GDP in 2023. But despite that, there are problems. First of all, they are yet to graduate from compulsory level of education, almost 50% of them. And there is distinct educational access between rural and urban areas. There is a lack of job opportunity motivated, especially because of the higher salary. And they're also encouraged by formal workers. There are policies issues, for example, like illegal permit, undocumented children, which result in limited educational access for their children due to these undocumented issues. Academicians and researchers have their roles to solve this issue. For example, teacher internship due to curriculum merdeka, development of teaching models and competency course program, workshop and training for teachers, seminar in the importance of education. And the proposed solution by Bapak Dr. Arif is first, increase the type of community center institution as alternative to educational model. Second, designing evaluation standard like accreditation. Third, designing a permanent curriculum that is suitable for them. And lastly, collaboration with professional certification institution because it will be beneficial for them to finally upgrade themselves. That is the summary of today's presentation. We have 20 minutes. Yes, we have 20 minutes for discussion session. I would like to invite three first questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Remember to first mention your name and then your question. Some questions, please.
Thank you for the chance. I'd like to give you a question. My name is Achi. I'm from batch 3. My question is so simple. My question that because you already mentioned about legal and illegal, do the legal and illegal immigrant in Malaysia have the same opportunity to pursue their education? Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Professor Tom, you will say the question first. What's the next one?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Sultan Hasanah. Thank you, Dr. Arif, for a very fascinating seminar and thought-provoking at the same time. So earlier you have already mentioned about the implemented programs done by our government, like internship and so on and so forth. But I would like to highlight one more program which has been implemented by our government, which is sending the teachers, Indonesian teachers, English teachers, to teach in Indonesian schools in Malaysia. The reason why I still vividly remember this program because I used to be very interested in becoming a tech away, because when I saw the number of the salary offered, 15 millions to be a teacher, so it was like very interesting. And when I heard from Dr. Bambang already became a TKI, I was like, wow, Papa, like it's definitely our senior about that. All right. And then also talking about the solution that you recommend, I saw it's like from the perspective of the Malaysian itself when they have been already in Malaysia. But maybe I would like to recommend another solution for our government or for us to think about. Why don't we start about giving the trainings for the workers like in the legal employment agencies. Let's forget about the illegal one because the illegal one is like UFO and identified flying object. So we do not focus on them. From the perspective of an English teacher like me, so like maybe even though they have like poor education, uneducated, let's say, but in that trainings we can also give like English training so that they will have more opportunities to work in like more fields, and then also maybe raising their awareness on how important education is. When you get married in Malaysia, then you still have to think about the education for your kids. So I think that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
One last question, please.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Tabila from batch 3 and A. Sir, as far as I know, I don't know it's deviating from the topic or not, but as far as I know that the regulation for protecting the host food assistant is not has not been utilized, and then it's still being planning in the parliament, and then in my personal opinion, the government doesn't have big attention to the vulnerable workers. So, what's your opinion, sir? Because you give your recommendation to the government, but does it has the possibility to be implemented by government through traditional service? Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Well, Madam, so far we have three exciting questions. Let's start with the first one. Or would you like to choose first? The first question is, does legal and illegal children have the same opportunity when it comes to education access? Should we start with the first one? Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for questions and also your attention with this issue. So I can say I'm success to provoke you. So there are so many questions. Even Dr. Bambang also raised his hand. It's quite nervous for me because I'm speaking in front of my board interviewers last time. Okay, let me answer the questions from the last questions from Fadila. Yes, thank you for your questions about the regulation of workers abroad. Actually, there are some, regulation and also policy in protecting our workers abroad. But it's not specific yet. They're still, debating about that in our parliament. So that's why this is our hope for the next government. They can, finish or complete or give some solution about this because I have also some friends. They also try to fight about that. They talk about this to the parliament members, but there's still some regulation that uh, not implemented yet. So still talk about this. There are some regulations, but not really specific. So that's why, especially for our workers to Malaysia, because they have some, uh, I can say this is going to be different when our citizen or Indonesian people would like to work in South Korea or Japan. They have very strict regulation or policy. So before they go, it's also answer the second questions about the pre-departure training, education. Actually, we have it, but sometimes, um, you know, they don't really follow that rules. So they just send the workers to Malaysia that they have 1 or 2 days preparation, and we know this is not enough to give some also to educate them about the work or life in Malaysia or but this is also very different when our citizen or our people would like to work in Japan or South Korea, they have very strict policy. They have to, to get some education related to the language, to do work competencies. There are some interview session. It's quite different when they would like to work to Malaysia, Taiwan, and Middle East. They can say it's easier, but there are different salary. The impact will be different salary. They will get higher salary when they want to work in Japan or South Korea because the regulation is more strict. So this is the differences between that issue. But actually, the pre-departure training or workshop, this is kind of the policy for the agent, for but so many people behind that. So sometimes it can. This is my experience. I just because I know some of workers in nearby my university last time. Then when I asked my friends, where is Ibu? I forgot the name, Ibu and oh, they are you know they're they well so we say razia is we call it investigated by the police or the immigration and they got arrested Then the Malaysia government sent them back to Indonesia. Okay, so sad, so pity of them. After 2 weeks, I saw them. I met them in the same place. So when I asked to the Ibu, Ibu, how can you come here after you get rest and you sent back to Indonesia? Oh, we have a special agent to send us here with another way of Malaysia. Okay, this is the problem. That's why we cannot really fix this problem. So this is what happened there. So many things. So this issue that I offer or I presented to you, this is like uh, maybe we can fix all of the problems through the government. So this is like direct solutions because we are facing it. We know about this issue. So this is what can we do as the scholars to help them with some issue. But I think from Ibu Uswatu, this is very, very nice. I mean, we can do more socialization to related to the pre-departure program, or we need to give some academic papers that our proposal is to the agent or the government that in charge in that issue to to make some regulation related or the pre-departure workshop or something else. Yeah. Um, yeah, sending English teachers to Malaysia. Yeah, this also, yeah. No, there are some programs that uh, organized by Ministry of Education, if I'm not wrong, yes, to send some teachers to Sekolah Indonesia in Malaysia. But for the community center, Sanggar Bimbingan, they don't still get some that program. So that's why I know some programs in Curriculum Merdeka, ISMA, they initiate to make some volunteer program to help some organization in teaching in Sanggar Bimbingan. So this is not officially government program, but best or according in the ISMA program or student exchange program, they initiated to make this program to help as their community service. And the good things, they also wrote their experience to be scientific papers. I think you can find it in Google Scholars related on their experience in help Indonesian people in Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar, because this is a new, I think it's kind of new programs of government, but it's not totally government support this program. The Indonesian organization or community still have you know funding by themselves because the government still 100% support this. And first question from Anchi. Sorry, Anchi, is it? Sorry, Aji. Oh, Aji. Okay, you are from Bandung? No, because I know some from Aji. I don't know, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, just joking, but I'm serious. It's just curious about it. Okay, illegal and legal children, some have same opportunities to educational access. Actually, I already mentioned about this at my previous or at the beginning of my presentation. They don't have. Actually, personally, maybe they have, but based on some regulations, they don't have any similar access because of the document issue. Because public schools in Malaysia, they cannot accept some Indonesian children that don't have some passport or some visa there. So this is the big issue. That's why our government with some Indonesian community organization have or created some program, the Sanggar Bimbingan, to solve that problem. So this is the big issue. But I have some friends. I don't know. They are legal workers there, but their salary is still under 5,000. So based on the regulation, they cannot bring their family to Malaysia. But the fact is, they have children there, and they can send their children to school, to private school in Malaysia. So means you have money, man. I said, why you don't make your the document or visa or passport for your children? They said because we would like to get red IC. So red IC is like a permanent resident from Malaysia. That's why we don't need to make my children to be Indonesian. So because after they got, after 17 years old, they hope their children will be permanent resident or the citizen of Malaysia. So that's going to be fine. I will pay for the private school for my children. And that's just some of friends. So a lot of things when we talk about this. So that's why really thanks for your attention in this. So I think for the next we can do more collaboration regarding this issue. Again, thank you so much for today. I also learned a lot from you. Thanks. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
But the time is actually not out. We still have 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, we have a question from Zoom meeting from Aziz. Question for speaker. Apart from existing educational institutions, what is the government's specialist role in ensuring monitoring improvements in the quality of education for migrants in Malaysia? Thank you. The government support. Would you like to answer that?
Let me answer the question directly. Uh, There are some, I already mentioned in my presentation, actually there are some regulations and also effort from our government to make sure the education for Indonesian migrant workers or their family in Malaysia. But, because very big numbers of our citizens in Malaysia, because I was a member of general election in Malaysia in 2019. We have the data more than 2 million workers, Indonesian workers in Malaysia. This is not including the children, maybe more than, almost 3 million people in Malaysia. Malaysia, Semenanjung, and Sabah in Borneo. So many people. So that's why sometimes it can be, political issues to that. Then, so this is the effort of our government to provide the schools for formal schools, but it's quite impossible to make all of, let's say, 10 schools in Indonesian schools in Malaysia, because this is not our country. So only 3 schools until today. So the other additional effort from our government is to provide some Sanggar Bimbingan Belajar or community learning center. So there are 17 learning centers until today. But because this is not very easy to do that, to solve the problem. So they need our support. As a scholars. Some of recommendation I also already mentioned or shared to you. So we can be a part of this, project to, design some standardization. This is to monitoring, right? Based on the questions. our evaluation of the standardization of education for our migrant workers in Malaysia. So we can start to design the accreditation process, or yeah, whatever the name, maybe accreditation, evaluation, or something. Yeah, to make sure the standardization or the program is running in the right track. Then the second one, they need more support, help related to the teachers. Maybe government just have some limitation to send English teachers, such as Bu Uswa said, to Malaysia. But our university, or maybe some of us, can do some community service program to help the program, or we can make some auxiliary program with that. And this also already did by some universities to send their students about 1 month to help teach the Indonesian migrant workers children there. And I think this is one of our role, or our uh, trying to help them to be a part of this issue, to solve this issue, to be a part of this program. I think that's all one of the questions. Hopefully we'll get answer from this. Thank you.
Thank you, Bapak Dokter. I think before I, if there's still time left, I would like to say that I am very lucky to sit here because it broadens my mind. I have just realized that citizen of Indonesia is not only staying in Indonesia, and I also realized that because I'm from Java, I mean, like I'm a part of Java Island, right? And there are neighbors who goes to Middle East trying to be migrant. And the reason why they didn't go to what professional agent or like valid agent is because they have to pay a huge amount of money. On top of that, they have to wait for a few months, which it is also a lot harder for them because their educational level is not that it doesn't support them to think through. And at the same time, it will also impact to the way they teach, to the way they uh, become a parent to their children in terms of education. And I've just realized that if we will to go back to the government, like only relying to government, I understand that it is the government's, so it's supposed to be the government's matter, but at the same time, I learned in a human capital course for the government to invest in education, they need to understand the reason for that. Because when they say investment, they expect something in return, not a charity. The government is helping the citizen in terms of as an investment, not as a charity. So it's really understandable how confusing this entire situation is because we're expecting the government to help us, but the government is not trying to unless there is something like the calculation reason is reasonable to them. And because of that, I would like to say we are the immersion researcher in education, and it is such a huge opportunity for us if we were to use human capital theory like probably, I don't know if you heard, I don't know if Bapak have heard, and also please do correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that it could be a huge opportunity to research about the rate of internet education or also the externalities of education, where the government can finally understand that this could be a huge investment for them, and in return, they can help us a lot further. That's what I think. If we were to only just focusing on the short solution, then it is going to be a short solution. But unless we involve the government, just as much as we're involving the government in building this very university, it is very important for the government to understand how this investment could return back to them in a lot greater benefit. That is all, Bapak Dokter. Alhamdulillah, thank you, Bapak Dokter, for sharing with us today. I hope we can all be inspired and motivated as we embark in our journey as a student of a graduate program. Bapak Dokter, thank you very much. May we see you may return to you. All right. Thank you everyone for your valuable contribution today. I am confident that today's shared insights can be a valuable and inspiring motivation for us as we become an emergent researcher in graduate program. Thank you again for your participation. We hope to see you again in the next session. Let's conclude today's session by reciting Kafaratul Majlis. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Thank you very much for coming today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please stay with us for the question session, please. Thank you very much.
Instruction for participant. Some today, please come to the step because I have something from you. Special for you.